Okay, so for the effects, I've created a combinator called effects with the mixer inside it that I've linked several channels from the redrum instance here into. This way I can add the delay I've added here to taste with the aux knob on each channel. The delay is on fully wet, since you only apply the delayed signal with the aux knobs, keeping the original signal as well. This is the most common way to use delay or reverb, in Reason at least. That's why by default they're both set up with the fully wet signal. If you create a new DDL1 digital delay line, see, it's by default set to fully wet. Control Z to undo. I've only dialed it in with the first channel here, which is where the laser goes through. Since that's a bit quick without the delay lengthening the sample, and the loud crash, for the same reason. So if we go through those samples that we've used, I've got that lasery effect I showed you there. We've got, I'm not using that sample, and then we're using the reverse. Don't know if you'll be able to hear that just yet. Here we go. Nice reverse there. Note that that one's set up to gate mode instead of decay mode. That's it says decay gate mode. If it's on 1, it's on gate mode. If it's on 0, it's on decay mode. So yeah, set up the reverse for gate mode. This means it will only play as long as the note is held down in the sequencer. So when I hold down the note, it builds up, then I let it go and it cuts off sharply as the drop kicks in, making it much tighter than if a little bit of the reverse sample overlapped with the drop. Then we've got a nice little blippy sound there, and a couple of crashes. One there, I don't use this laser, and one there. To trigger them, if we have a look here in the Reason sequencer, I've got several different note lanes. Let's zoom in and see what they're called. Yeah, I've got one for each of the samples that I've used. To trigger them, I've drawn in areas here in the sequencer. Just using the pencil tool, you just draw it in. And then, if you double click on it with the selection tool, and scroll down to C1 octave, and that's where all the triggers are for redrum, you can just put in relevant notes like that. So we've got the laser there. Got some crazy effect. And there's the blip. So if we wanted to put in some blips, you just put them in like that. Got one on the wrong line there, but yeah. Simple as that. Then we can go back to the arrange mode, just like that. I've got a different note lane for each sample, making it easier to copy and paste individual hits. Okay, as you can see, I've used these blips kind of rhythmically throughout the drop here, just to fill it out a bit. And the reverses you've got building up to the breaks, to the drop, pretty much building up to every section actually. And where there is a break, I've used the laser sample, if we look laser there, so you can tell that's where the break kicks in. And in the air. Just to make it sound more filled out in the high end and make it that bit more interesting to listen to. And we've got the crashes dotted about with the louder crashes on every main section there. So we've got it on the breakout and on the drop for most sections there. And okay, so that's the sampled effects. Join me in part 3 where we'll be making our own pitch drop effect as the final piece to this bassline puzzle.